Alright guys, so apparently I was in the last video. This is gonna be a three-part episode now because in the last video my phone started ringing, and for those of you who don't know, which it might be obvious, I'm using my cell phone to record all this because I do not have a camera as of now, and I do not have a laptop to edit. Well, I do have a laptop, but I don't have access to it because we haven't used it in probably like 2.5, 3 years, and the password on it is, a password that none of us can remember. So I'm going to eventually, hopefully in the next coming weeks, take it to somewhere like Best Buy or something where they can help me reset the thing and I can get the laptop back up and working. And from there, I can download YouTube editor and everything. I can edit these videos, and we'll have a problem like this because I ended up getting a phone call, and the phone call messed up the video, obviously. So when I get the laptop working, I'll be able to edit out everything. And I'll be able to edit the videos so you won't have this problem where I will have 3 videos instead of just 2. And I was about probably 5 minutes away from firing this chainsaw up, so now it's going to be just a short video, and which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just how life is. So where we left off, I was showing you the fuel filter and where I have it, and the fuel line is correct and it's not crimped anymore. And literally this video, all these videos took place in the same day. This video is about, I started recording about 5 minutes after the second video ended abruptly because of a phone call. So this is only about a 5-minute difference. And I'm going to continue with what I was doing. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on this green part of the hose here to just hold it in place, kind of cement it there. Hopefully I won't get another phone call that will mess anything up. I'm just going to put a little dab. Just put a little bit there. Let that dry for a second. And now, since I have this all pretty much back together, except for this piece here, this piece has to get back on. Okay, there's that. This little clip back on there. That was a good sneeze. So now I'm just going to put this back together really quick, and this is a piece of metal from the first video. This controls the choke lever. The choke lever is this right here. This little piece right here, this is the choke lever. When that goes up, like, if I can get good, when that goes up like that, the choke is on. That's like full choke right there, and then half choke, and then off. And this little lever here connects to this black piece, so when you move the black piece all the way down, that turns the choke all the way on, half choke, and then running, and then there's obviously off. It took me a while to get used to that, actually, because I wasn't used to a steel, so it took me quite a little while to get used to that. And it appears as though I broke this. It appears as though I broke this little piece of plastic. This kind of just went in between the cylinder and the carburetor and everything. I'm not entirely sure what its purpose was. I think I see as to where it was supposed to go, like right there. I can't leave this on there without the thing being in place, because it'll be vibrating around and shaking and everything. I don't want that to happen and mess something else up on this saw. So what I'm going to try and do is just possibly get it back into place. I don't know. I really don't see what the purpose of this is. Like, I see absolutely no point to even having it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. In fact, it was really quite in the way this whole entire time. But I didn't know that it came off like that. I really don't know what this does. I have no idea. I don't know if there's some special way of putting this back on, or if one of the tabs here might have broke. Doesn't look like anything snapped off. What does this say? Seal. Just gives me a part number. I don't want to. Part of me doesn't want to run this saw without it, because I'm not sure what the purpose of it was, and I don't know if it might melt some of this wiring, the plastic, who knows, I don't know. But I really, really don't want to leave it on just loose like that. I think I may have just figured it out, I don't know how. It seems like it's on, but super glue to the rescue again. I'm just gonna say the same thing. I'm just gonna put a little dab on there, just enough that it will stay on, enough that it won't come off. I just put a little bit there on the. I think that there's an actual tab there that broke, and I just put the glue there to compensate for it. I mean, even when that glue, that little tiny drop that I put on there dries, you can very easily just like wiggle it and it'll probably fall right off. I mean, it's super glue. It's not cement. It's not, you know, it's not tar or something that's going to be stuck on there for life. It'll come off if you, that little tiny bit, all you got to do is just wiggle it, it'll come right off. It's not touching the cylinder head, so that's good. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I was putting this little piece of metal on that I said be careful with. It connects to the choke. And put that into place. Get this put together here. It always does kind of give you a bit of a problem because, like I said, you don't want to bend that piece of metal, but it kind of, you do need to use a little bit of pressure to get into the hole. But once you get in it, once you get onto the hole, you can just kind of like use needle nose or something and push it in there, and it shouldn't really bend. It should go right into place, but you still gotta exercise caution because, as I said, you do not want to bend it, because once that happens, you're pretty much out that part, and you're gonna have to wait until you go to more than likely a steel dealership to get a replacement, because I can't see just going to Lowe's and then having one of these in stock. They might have to order it, and I can't believe that this part would be any more than a couple of dollars. If it's anything like $10, $12 or something, that's kind of ridiculous. But it being a steel, being like a really strong, good, reliable brand most of the time, and I did just screw up that again. You know what? I'm taking this off. I think it's just kind of like a heat guard, just to kind of help protect the wires. And I don't think the wires are that close. They're kind of like stuck in their place, and I'm leaving it off. If something happens to the chainsaw where it melts the wires or something bad like that, then, you know, so be it. Another problem for another day. If I can just get this thing in like that. I almost got it that time, actually. You would think putting this into a simple hole would be a lot easier, but it's a lot harder than you would think to get in there. Because, like I said, you don't want to bend it, but you got to get it into that little tiny freaking hole, and it's just a pain. It's times like this that you just wish that steel, or any company for that matter, would just make it kind of simple. like back, like in the 60s, when everything you could just very simply go work on your own car. Like you could go into the engine, tear it apart, put it back together in a day. Nowadays, you can't even hardly change the oil on the car yourself anymore. And it's kind of ridiculous how hard things have gotten nowadays to work on. And I feel like a lot of companies, like car companies, lawnmower companies, any of them really, make stuff difficult to work on just so you have to bring it into them, into a dealership or their mechanic or whatever it may be, to have work done to it. Like this choke lever, I mean, back on the Poland, which is probably a good 5 years older than when this one was brand new, that choke lever on and everything on there is just so much simpler to put on and off. And given the fact that it might be easier to come off when being worked, I understand that 100% might be a little bit easier for it to somehow pop loose and pop off, but the odds of that, I mean, aren't very likely. And like I said, they're so easy to put, they're a lot easier to put on that chainsaw. So if it did pop off, all you gotta do is just take the cover off and pop it right back in, you know. Unlike this choke lever that doesn't want to go in or out, I have complete confidence that this is not going to pop out after I get it in. But let's say it did, and you're just like a normal homeowner who just wants to kind of like cut wood up for the weekend for a fire, and you run into this and the choke lever somehow comes apart or just pops off, you're not going to have any, and you don't work on this stuff. I'm not saying you couldn't figure it out and you couldn't fix it, because it looks pretty self-explanatory, but as you can see, I'm having nothing but problems with it. I don't understand why it's haven't given me a problem, but there. It is in. That was a chore to do. The first time I tried getting on there, I had no idea how it went together, so I kind of had to look up a schematic for it online. And after I figured it out, the next 2 times I had to take this apart, I got on with relative ease, but this time it just decided to make me work for it, I guess. Alright, so fuel line, good. Choke, make sure that works. It does. That's good. So what I'm going to do now is it should be closing a little bit more actually. Alright, that's good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is get the ripcord here, get this put back together, and hopefully it should, after I put some gas in, it should just start right up, honestly. All put into place here. There's that. There's that. Sorry, I just got an alert on my watch. Alright. Get this all put back in. Oh, I have paper towels around here. There they are. Alright. Okay then. Now we're just gonna get these screws put back on. Yeah, I am gonna dump this gas out safely, by the way. I'm not gonna just, I'm gonna dump it out in a safe manner. There's not much gas, but it can still kill your grass, weeds, trees, and stuff. I am gonna dispose of it properly, but I am still kind of surprised as to how dirty this was when I poured it out. So that partly makes me happy that this happened, because I was able to get all that bad gas out of there instead of running it through the saw. So I'm pretty sure I said in the first video anyways, but... Alright, just get these screws put back in. There is 3 screws on this to hold the ripcord on. I kind of thought that there should be a 4th one up here, but somewhere, but it does the job. And this wrench right here, the T25, so I got the star looking pattern on there. I always forget what these are called. It's not a star tool, it's a torque wrench? No, it's not a torque wrench. I'll have to look that up, because I use these a lot. You'd think I would remember, but I always forget. Maybe somebody can just leave a comment if they just happen to know what the name is. It's like one thing I like using a drill for, like an electric drill like that Black & Decker, is for certain applications you can just quickly just drill the screws right in. And on this Black & Decker you can adjust how powerful it is, from like a 1 being, barely anything, like that, like very, very loose type of a deal, to the drill, which is, the drill screw or something in the wood. And I do like using that for certain things like this, where I can just, but the drill won't fit in there, obviously. But most of the time, if it was accessible to the drill, I would have had all 3 of these drilled in by now. If it was accessible to the drill, I probably would be pouring gas into it right now, because it's just that much quicker. But, what are you gonna do? There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can ask from a drill and electronics and stuff. I don't mind using screwdrivers and stuff, but I understand why a lot of people do use that, like drills and stuff like that, because it just makes jobs easier, and that's what people have been trying to do all their lives. Not all their lives, but for the last 50 years they made things that work better, make it easier for people, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't know where I'm getting off on this. I don't know why I'm even saying that, to be honest, but one thing I do like on these steel is it shows you your gas level and your oil level when it's flat. I do like that compared to the Pullman, which doesn't really show you. Like, there's a little cutout right there, so it shows you how full the gas is. And same exact thing on the oil, which is, yeah, you can see it right there. Shows you how full that is, which according to this is about half full, which is perfect, considering I haven't hardly used it other than that 20 minutes. So now we just get the air filter put back into place, and once I do that, I will get the cover put back on, put some gas in it, and see if that new fuel line and reconnecting the fuel filter, which I'm sure had a big role, if all that makes a difference, which I'm almost positive it will, because it had, that stuff plays a big role in letting the thing run correctly. And it was running even without the fuel filter on there. It did start up and run, but it was very rough. It just, because it was getting too much air. It wasn't getting enough gas, so it was running really lean. And not to mention, it was without running at full throttle and everything. That's what caused some concern as to what this problem could be. And as soon as I looked in there, I saw that fuel filter was not. I figured that would be the problem, and I realized that this hose was actually pretty short. So once this got to about in between half and a quarter, the fuel line was out of the water. And I guess that's what the point of the fuel filter was to keep it in the water. Or oh my, did I say water twice? Keep it in the fuel, and the fuel filter kept coming off, so it couldn't get enough gas. So this new fuel I have goes right down to the bottom, so hopefully it won't happen. But if the fuel filter did come off for some reason, it would still really be in the gas. So if the fuel filter came off, which I know it will because I did factory it on there, it will still be in the gas and will still be able to run. But obviously you're going to want to fix that. You're going to want to take this whole entire thing apart and fix that by whatever means necessary, because you don't want that fuel filter not being on there and sucking it up like a tiny piece of dirt or whatnot and having it destroy something on a saw. Because buying a whole entire new carburetor and putting that in isn't fun, but taking the carburetor apart, cleaning it, and then putting it back together is even less fun than putting in a new one. Alright, but that's just a little advice, I guess. Alright, she is good to go. So there's plenty of oil. As I said, it's over half of that. So let me get the gas, my mix. This is just a 1 gallon, or no, I'm sorry, 2 gallons. So what I do when I'm mixing this, I just get whatever gas I have. If I have like a full tank of gas for the lawnmowers, 4-wheelers, whatnot, I prefer to use non-ethanol because that's better for small engines, lawnmowers and stuff, especially push mowers. And it's better for snowmobiles, 4-wheelers, cars. It's better for everything. But if you only have ethanol, like 87, 88, 89, whatever it is, then that's alright. You can always get fuel stabilizer to put in there. That helps a lot. But what I do when I'm filling this is you can see in here how much gas is in there. So, well, sort of. When it's in the sunlight, you can see better. I fill it up to about half. I put it up to the sunlight so I can see. I filled up half. Put the little 50-to-1 ratio mix in there. 1 gallon mix. I pour it in there. Shake it really hard. Let it settle for about 10 minutes. I shake it up again, and I'm able to use it. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in. I'm going to try my hardest not to spill any of it, because I did it last time I was putting gas on here. And yes, I am in an enclosed space, but I have windows open, have fan going, so if I do somehow spill any of it, then that's on me. I'll clean it, but hopefully I won't. I'm just going to pour it very slow. I am running quite low on gas, though. There we go, perfect. I'm the wrong cat. I did go out though yesterday and get a whole tank of gas, and I got the mid-grade because I didn't feel like spending a fortune, because the gas prices where I am right now are not too pleasing, so I didn't want to spend too much money. But I got the mid-grade. I'm going to mix some more gas up hopefully tomorrow. And like I said, I took that off of the gas filter, or the gas cap, not the oil cap, because the oil cap I want it to be able to hang off. So I don't want it to fall into some dirt and then have a real pain that time wiping it and cleaning it, because I'd probably have to wash it off, then let it dry, because you can't get water in there. But this one, it's a gas cap. That one, I'm not as concerned with. I can take that off, and if some dirt or something got there, I can just wipe it with a rag or something, clean paper towel, and it'll be good to go. Plus, there's a fuel filter and a carburetor to help protect it. With the oil one, there's no filters and filtration as much in there to help protect the oiling pump. So, alright, so now I'm just gonna put this back to. Did you see that? A whole bunch of gas just gushed out. I don't. That's one thing that this thing does, is it, whenever I fill it up to the top, it does spill gas out. I don't know exactly what the meaning behind that is. I don't know if it's just like an overfill type deal. That's why the gas kind of spills out. I don't know. But it seems like every time, I keep forgetting that it does that. I fill it up and then the gas just spills out once I get to like the cap, and I keep forgetting it does that. So it's kind of frustrating because I forget and I'm not expecting it, and then like I just did there, I tipped it up and it just spilled all over me, the ground, my little workbench here. I don't know what that is. And then after it does that, nothing, it's not like it leaks anymore. I don't know what that is about, but I made sure I had the cap on there tight. I tightened it. And one thing I do with all the gas type stuff, rags, with rags and stuff, I always put them outside. I have like a little thing out there that I put them in. For the time being, I just kind of like put them on the ground next to the container because I gotta open it up and I have shoes and it's muddy. But that's what I do. I just keep that a little side so you don't want to put it in your trash can and smell that. Go until you empty the trash, which sucks. Smelling gasoline. Alright, so besides that little mistake, I guess, I'm going to just, that's on, that's in, that's tight. Let's just go ahead and that's got it down. Get out of the way. I always kind of have a problem. There we go. I'm getting more and more used to it. When I first started getting this on, I couldn't even get the cover on. It took me like 5-6 minutes just to get the protective case on. Alright, so I'm going to just move all this stuff out of here. Because I don't feel like starting it on the ground itself, because then you guys can't really see what I'm doing. It's just a little bit more difficult. I mean, it's not difficult for me, but it's hard for you guys to see. And once I do get it running, I gotta lift it up, and it'll just be a lot easier just to get it right off the cart here. Just make sure everything's out of the way, really. Always make sure the chain lock's on, which that, when it's nice and loose like that, it's off, and that means the chain can turn. So when it's on, the chain doesn't move, and you're typically good to go and start it. Choke. So that's off. Right there is off when it's all the way up. That's on, and then when you squeeze the trigger, push this down all the way and let go, and that's high choke, and then you can adjust it to low and high. And then to take it off choke, you just press the trigger, and that's normal running. So then that's off. So on, choke, and with this, I believe it's the same way as a pull-in. You pull it till it fires over real quick. You put it on half choke, and then you just pull it till it starts. And once it starts, you let it run for 15-20 seconds, let it till it's nice and warmed up, and then you kill the choke, put it on normal, and hopefully it'll just run smooth. So let's try it out here. And there was that little, I don't know if you picked that up, it made like vroom, kind of made like a vroom, really faint, really quick, but that means put it on half choke, I believe. I may need to put some of this down there because with the new hose, it might just need some encouragement to get the gas flowing through it. It may need that, it may not. I'm just going to put it back on the full choke. Alright. You know what? I'm doing it. Just going to open up the trigger. Spray that in there. And just kind of let that get into the carburetor. And it is going to start right up, probably on the second or third pull. It will start and it's going to smoke, whether it keeps running. That's up to the fuel filter and fuel line. So I'm just going to put back on the choke, half choke. So it'll keep it running, hopefully. It is going to smoke a lot, probably, for the first couple of seconds, but shouldn't keep smoking, hopefully. Okay, it's making me out to be a liar. I don't think the saw is too happy. I don't know exactly why it's giving me a problem right now. It should. I put that carburetor cleaner in there. It should have just. I am moving the cart away. I most likely flooded it, putting that much carburetor cleaner in there. Oh, sorry guys, this was supposed to be just a quick pull it over a few times and have it start type of a deal, but it appears that's not going to happen right this second. Okay, I know it had a socket here somewhere. I did have a socket with the oh, it's over here. Gotta pull this spark plug. I probably flooded it. I think I poured spray a little too much. I guarantee this is flooded out. Man, look at that. It is soaked. Yeah. She is wet. Very, very wet. I'm just going to. One thing when you are, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but if this is flood, if you have something that's flooding, you're going to pull it over to clean it out, turn it off, make sure the thing is completely off. If it has a key, turn the key in off. Make sure there's no on sequence because it's going to keep trying to fire. It's going to keep spraying gas into the cylinder to fire over, and it's not going to clean itself out, so it has to be off in order to just. Just dry this out. Try and heat that up a little. You gotta pull this over about 10 more times. 1, 2. Alright. Will it fire over? Possibly. I'm tempted to just spray just like that little bit. You see how that worked? I sprayed this a little bit in there. And watch it'll spray out when I... You see how that sprayed out? That's all the residue that was in there. That's just kind of an example of how it works. All that gets in there, it makes it sweat and it can't fire over, so when you pull it out, all that sprays out, all that residue. Where's the flashlight? Yeah, over here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where I just put that flashlight. There it is. Just want to check something real quick. It looks dry now, so I'm going to put this in, and hopefully it will fire up. I am just going to leave the case off at this moment until I maybe get fired over. And then once I get fired over, I'm going to be careful not to burn myself like I did last time. And that's not good. And hopefully it will. It really should just. Choke is working. I'm not quite sure what's going on as to why it's not wanting to just fire right over. Yeah, it's saturated again. One thing I'm going to try. I'm just going to try that. Will it work? I don't know. It might just fly it even worse. I may have to just end this video and come back tomorrow. Let it dry overnight and see if that does anything to it. That made it start. I don't know why it's not wanting to start on. Well, I expected it to smoke, but it looks like the fuel line's getting gas in it now. The fuel line definitely has gas. It's definitely getting gas, which is good. I just don't really understand what the holdup is here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pop this off once again. Wrong way. I'm just going to pop this off, spray a little bit extra carburetor cleaner in there. Leave it on half choke, and you can see the gas coming and all the residue coming off the spark plug. That was the first time, second, third, so I'm going to spray. And I had the thing on. My bad. Half choke. Now guys, I'm not condoning doing what I just did, spraying it with carb cleaner, and hoping that that'll do the job. Typically, you wouldn't be having this type of a problem. It would just start right up. And like it did last time, I got the thing running originally. I poured some of that in there, got on half choke and started, and it ran relatively well until that fuel line disconnected from the fuel filter. So I don't know what this is gonna do. Well then, I knew that was going to happen with smoke. That's why I have the windows on. I have a fan there going. Probably heard it, and I have two fans upstairs going just in case. I'm going to close the door, but... Well, I guess it just need a little encouragement, I guess. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this back on before I burn myself like I did in the last time I had this thing running on video. I did burn my finger, and it took about a week for that burn to fully go away, which kind of was inconvenient, but it didn't hurt for a week. It just, you could feel it there. Alright, let's try this one more time with half choke. That time I did kill it on my own. It did just stall. So, I'm thinking that fuel line was the problem. I'm thinking the fuel filter popping off was also part of the problem. One thing I do want to check really quick. Just want to see if I can see the fuel filter and fuel line in there. Yeah, I can see the fuel line is still connected there, and it's the same exact spot I had it. And unfortunately, it is raining out at the moment. It's raining and it is crummy out at the moment. It's probably going to be in the 40s, which for springtime around here is very unusual. It's usually in the 60s. At least that's what it should be at. But it's going to be like this for next, till Thursday or Friday. It's going to be in the 40s. Next night's day is probably going to be Friday or Saturday. It's going to be a next somewhat warm day, like in the mid-50s and sunny. So I'm going to wait until then. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start both these saws, the pulling and this steel. I'm going to start them both up. I'm going to get some logs. And we're going to have a little cutting test. And I'll have you guys there with me. And they're both chains are sharp. They're not, I wouldn't call them even. I think that they're pretty darn close to the chain sharpness. So I'm going to get these both tuned out so that they're good to go, like idling, running wise. But I know the Poland does need a little bit of an idle adjustment, which is probably like a quarter of a turn, just like a smidge of a turn just on the carburetor. This one may need it. I'm going to see what it does once it's been running for about 20 minutes. Once I have it constantly going, it might not need to be adjusted at all. Same thing with that one. I haven't really used them, either of them, for really extensive use in a while. Well, this one obviously I haven't, but the Poland I haven't. So, next week, I'm going to make another video. We'll have a cutting test. I'll set you guys up. And we'll see just how good a steel is compared to the much, much less expensive Poland. The Poland back in the day, I think what we paid for it was back when I was like 5 years ago. Actually, it's probably longer now. Actually, it's probably been about, that's probably going on 10 years now. I've been saying 5 years because this is about 2 years old, and I said 5 years older than that, so about 8 years, roughly, give or take a year. That was probably about, the Poland was about $100. I think they got, I think it was like 115, and it was on sale because they, the store we got it from was just like a little local type place that was closing, and they gave us like a good deal for like 85 bucks. This one, as I said, the woman said she paid over $200 for it. So the $200 saw versus the $100 saw, which was better? $100 more for your money, spending more money, will it cut better, last longer, who knows? Or do you want to just spend less money, buy a reasonably priced, well-established saw company, and see which one works better. That's it for today's videos. I'll get them uploaded as quickly as possible, and I'll see you all on the next nice day when we get to cut these things.